Marco,
Jimmy.
it's the finale. Dun 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 dun. Couple buttholes reviewing Saul. That's all.
Buttholes. There's a few buttholes.
Yeah, buttholes.
Rest in peace, you butthole.
Yeah, R.I.P. butthole. Welcome back, it feels like it's been an eternity since the last time due to scheduling conflicts, but we are back here delivering the season finale of season 1, episode 10, titled Marco. My name is Adam. That is Terry, and we're back talking Saul.
Yes, we're back to our normal antics, like you pointing the wrong direction to show where I'm at on the screen. That was wonderful there, Adam.
No one saw that.
No one saw that. Nobody saw that.
It's an audio medium. Also,
it's an audio medium and a visual gag. We're back. We try to put one of these out each week, but scheduling got crazy, so we took a week off right before the season finale of season 1, which was the worst time to take a week off. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well,
I'm excited. This was a fun episode.
Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about. I say we just hop right into it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
When did this episode come out?
Yes. I did not get that far. It's been a while. It's been a while. I will research on the fly.
He will research on the fly while I read this synopsis for Better Call Saul, season 1, episode 10, which is entitled Marco. To Chuck, all he will ever be is Slippin' Jimmy. So Jimmy decides he needs to go back to his old life and prove his brother right. After he gathers his finder's fee from Howard at HHM and hands over Chuck's daily shopping list, he heads back to Chicago and meets up with his old pal / accomplice / butthole himself, Marco. Marco is trying to make an honest living, but he obviously misses the days of pulling the fast one on unsuspecting marks with Slippin' Jimmy. Now Jimmy is back for a whirlwind tour through the classics. Jimmy eventually remembers all the responsibilities he has waiting for him at home. But Marco convinces him after a week of tricks that they should pull off one last old Rolex trick. While Marco is prepping to be the drunken butthole one last time, something goes wrong. Jimmy stumbles upon his accomplice truly unconscious. Their Mark runs off with some cash once he realizes something is fishy, and Marco dies of a massive heart attack in the middle of the random alley. At least he went out on top, having just had the best week of his life. At Marco's funeral, Jimmy gets a call from Kim, saying HHM has partnered with another firm to work on the Sandpiper case, and that firm is interested in hiring Jimmy. An office is waiting for him. All seems to be going in the right direction. But Jimmy's trip down memory lane with Marco got him thinking. Swindling is what he's best at. He checks in with Mike at the parking lot. Why didn't they take the Kettleman's money? Mike was just following instructions. Jimmy was in search of the right thing to do. Well, he's not going to let that get in the way anymore. Marco showed him life's too short. He blows off the new law firm and strikes out on his own. Bum, 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 bum. I had to throw in the little Jack Black moment there.
April 6th,
anyways, there we go.
2015 is the air date.
There it is. Okay. That's how we wrapped up season 1. Adam, what'd you think?
Not anywhere close to where I thought it was going to go. This was not where he was going to get arrested. This is not where it was going to close off. It ended in Chicago, not Albuquerque. So take a shot every time we're wrong, and you'll probably pretty hammered. This was a good finale. It definitely didn't feel like a finale, but it felt like a good turning of the chapter, in a good ending of the chapter, I would say. It's like, okay, now we're going to take this other journey.
It's not like a cliffhanger. It's not like the big moment, but you're right. It's the ending of a chapter.
Yeah, ending of a chapter. So it's a good spot to kind of end it because now we're going off. Now he's going to do his own thing, and I think I'm about to be right one of these days. Saul Goodman's coming to town pretty soon.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Like it, yeah. He's a good man. Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah,
Good, man.
yeah, all good. Yeah, so this was a good episode. Again, not like a ton of stuff happened. It was more like a reconnection episode, and kind of realized like, you know what? No, we're gonna I don't have to play by the rules. I'm gonna do my own thing, and go from there. So
Yeah, we were looking at this last episode as like, how is it going to, how you're used to a season like it wraps up with like something big and momentous and a cliffhanger of some sort maybe or something. Like we went through Breaking Bad, every single one of those end of the seasons there's like, whoa, that just what blew my mind. This is a little more subtle, and it had some stuff it could have done from episode 9 to really like throw everything all out of kilter. But you're right, instead it went the route of, this whole season is exposition. This whole season is our introduction to this world of what Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman ends up becoming, and how he becomes, the criminal lawyer we all know and love. And so the ending isn't the big cliffhanger. The ending isn't the big wow, blow my mind moment. It's the, okay, now we're starting to see his character become something.
yeah, it's
And all this stuff with Chuck doesn't lead to a crazy downward spiral like it would do with Walter White. Instead, it leads him to reevaluate his whole life, go back and revisit what he's always been, and realize that might be who he wants to be. And it's a character season finale, which is different and cool. And I feel like more happens in this episode than happened in like half the season, because it was a lot of just kind of watching Jimmy go through the motions throughout the season. And now we get this episode where so much happens as we see this whole backstory start to play itself out, and we see Jimmy actually make some steps in some directions.
Yeah, I like that too. It's the woulda, coulda, shouldas too. It's like what if he would have taken that job, he would not have probably met Walter White. I would think, because he would be a different type of lawyer at that point, more reputable. But at the same time, I'm glad we got the version that we got, and glad he kind of is branching off on his own, doing his own thing, and screw his brother. I think that's one of my favorite moments is when he's like handed this shopping list, and Howard's like, "You did this for a year?" Yeah,
every day
for a year. Yeah, so you had to go to this special newsstand because they have both his newspapers there at 6.
Yeah,
and then his Apple order is pretty accurate actually too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's your relatable moment.
Yeah, Apple. Yeah. Red Delicious are tasteless. Where's that now?
I think it's interesting too, and what makes this show unique is it's a prequel. We know where we end up, and so each step along the way is that step toward, okay, this is starting to show how he gets from here to there, instead of like Breaking Bad. It was, we were along for a crazy roller coaster and we didn't know where we were going to end up or where we're going. We know the end game, which just changes the mentality towards everything that happens at the same time.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and it's gonna still, because it's the show Saul has lasted a lot longer than Breaking Bad, 6 seasons compared to what? No, actually, Breaking Bad was 6 seasons too, right?
Well, 5, but the last season was extended. But they ended up with about the same number of episodes, if I remember right.
Yeah. So it's kind of subverting expectations. It's kind of spread it out. Kind of it will get there when it gets there, type of thing, which is nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to look it up here to check my math.
Researching on the fly.
Researching on the fly, and I'm Past where I need to be. Where are you at? No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it's not going to help me to look at his writing credits. There we go. Now we're into his acting credits. Where's Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad. Breakdown of Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had 62 episodes. Better Call Saul had 63. So they ended up with almost the exact same number of episodes. So,
okay. Well, the more you know.
There you go. All right. Well, let's break down this episode. What was the best scene?
I think it's going to be Saul and Howard talking. So I liked that because it was kind of like a mutual respect. It's like, I actually wanted you here. And then it's doubled up because Kim also says Howard wanted him to work there because he like kind of respected Jimmy's work there. It was just Chuck didn't like it.
Well, and Howard was trying to help him get that job at the other law firm too.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like for the first time, Jimmy and Howard could sit and be honest with each other.
Yeah, have a mutual respect for each other, regardless of what they like. It's like, hey, I always called. What was that thing he always called
Charlie
him?
Hustle.
Charlie Hustle, yeah. Which is kind of like, oh, cool, yeah, it makes, yeah. I'm from Chicago, not Cincinnati.
But that's what's interesting about that is his brother's name is Chuck.
Yeah, that's
like you're basically calling him his brother. Chuck, Charlie, it's kind of the same name.
Yeah, that is true.
It's interesting how his first. I know it's just a nickname, but your nickname ends up being something that is another version of your brother's name. That's just, yeah. But I like that scene too because like I said, it's the first time Howard feels like he can be completely honest with Jimmy, and I always liked you.
Yeah, I always liked you. And then like the passing off of the order, I think that was also like
pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, eye-opening.
Yeah. And like pushes toward Howard realizing just what Jimmy's been going through and why Jimmy may have been pushing towards, trying to divest Chuck from the law firm, trying to buy out his share. Just because this is what it's taken to keep him going in his current state. And I think Howard has a full new respect for Jimmy after this, which is good. I kind of, like I've said, I've always kind of liked the Howard character, but he always had those moments where it's like now he sucks, but
yeah, now it's growing on me. Actually,
Chuck just sucks. Yeah. All right. I think my best scene was the scene right after that where Jimmy has the full on breakdown calling bingo.
Oh yeah, that was my second one actually.
That one is he just ends up being a mess. It's
betrayal.
Yeah, that's where we get the story of the Chicago sunroof. We get how he ended up in prison and like charged with being a sex offender and child predator, for just being
busting out his butt,
an idiot. Yeah. It was because that was a revealing scene for sure, and it was truly him just letting everything get the best of him.
Do you think we see Chet at one point in the show?
Ooh, now that would be interesting.
We've done some flashbacks. We saw a flashback when he's in prison for this crime, the Chicago sunroof. But do we actually see him do the act of the Chicago sunroof?
That would be an interesting little
have Odenkirk with like the mullet and the sunroof. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be good.
He wanted soft serve. I gave him soft serve.
That would be good. I think we can also say some of the Marco stuff too, like the fun, like Marco's death scene. Like you could kind of see it coming, but the way it plays out is pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and
guy's a dick. They just ran off with the money.
I mean, that's why they picked him though, because he was a potential dick, and he was going to run off with the fake Rolex, and they were going to get the money that he was going to give for it. So, yeah, that was a good scene. Okay, the Betsy Kettleman douchebag award for this episode goes to.
It goes to Chet. It goes to Chet. They clearly say he's a douchebag because he drove a white pearl scent BMW 7 Series with a white leather interior. And while we don't know what his son's name is,
like a toasted cheeser in here, Benny.
Could have been Benny, and it probably was baking in that Chicago weather. Probably was like a 95 summer day. Yeah, tinted windows. Yeah, it's definitely the Chicago sunroof, man. He clearly he's a douchebag. He made connections.
You kind of feel like Chet is like the Better Call Saul version of Ken Wins.
Yeah, the Ken Wins. Yeah, just the not seen character.
He's unseen in this. That's a good call. Chet is a douchebag. I'm also gonna say Chuck, because oh my word, beggars can't be choosers, dude.
Yeah,
I would like to try soy milk. Could you give me some of that? And the apples are just a bit off. Just a bit off. Yeah, come on. Yeah. You really want it? Go get it. You've shown that you can. When you're not paying attention.
I like how he almost opened the door, and you can tell he's like, Chuck's like, I messed up. Because my brother's clearly caring about me still. He's sitting outside my door, but just refuses. He won't come.
Oh, but it was his condition. I'm sure that it was the reason he couldn't open the door.
No, he heard the car engine turn on.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I'm just saying that's what he's saying in his head. I'd go outside, but I have this condition.
But he knows I have a condition. He should be coming into me, not I should be going out to him.
There you go.
He's the one embarrassing me, not the other way around.
How quickly in just an episode, from the end of episode 9 to through this episode, the entire arc of Chuck just completely flipped on its head.
That's why the hospital scene sucks. Anyway.
All right, Stickman award. I have to say the Stickman of this episode is definitely Kevin Costner.
Because it's a callback to Breaking Bad too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He said that he tricked somebody into thinking he was Kevin Costner for a night.
I forgot about that. Well, there's our Breaking Bad reference.
Yeah, I was like, that's clearly the Stickman and the Breaking Bad reference right there.
And Marco's the manager.
Yeah. Oh my god. Does this look like a manager's house? Does he look like a manager's house? Come on, Daisy.
You're not Kevin Costner. I was last night.
It was last night. If you build it, I will come. Or whatever.
When we get to the best Saul one-liners, there are so many.
I've expanded my file on my my spreadsheet to
I didn't even write any down. I'm just going to go through my notes and just find them all because there's so many of them. All right. Did you have anything else for your Stickman?
There was only one answer.
There was only one answer. It's not even Jimmy. It's Kevin Costner.
Probably the bartender could have been the other one too. The bartender played by
I can see that.
Yeah, I think I still have it open here.
Bartender. Ricky Staffieri.
Yeah, Ricky Staffieri. Yeah, he played in a couple. Yeah, he played in The Bear too. I'm trying to remember who he was in The Bear. That's a good show.
Okay. All right. The best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo.
Hey, that's Pinot nominated actor Keith Kupfer.
I didn't even notice it was him until afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. He was the guy that they fixed with the Kennedy nickel.
Yeah.
Half nickel or whatever.
That was afterwards I was looking up the episode and I went, wait, that was the same guy?
Was the same guy who gave that awesome
another Sandlot reference. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What you mean that was the same guy?
Baby Ruthie. Yeah.
Baby Ruth. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I was looking to see if there were any others. The one I felt like needed to be someone I was just looking up was Bud, played by Mark Jeffrey Miller.
Oh, that was the
And
guy at the funeral.
yeah, he was the guy at the funeral who gave him a cigarette. And I just looked. This is the only episode he's in. He was in that one tiny little scene where he gave him a cigarette. Obviously, was a recognizable face to Jimmy, and we never hear from him again. I mean, that feels weird. Like, that's the type of character where you introduce him in something like that. I'm like, okay, I have a feeling he might pop back up, but no, that's it. That was all he had. He had one scene where he gave him a cigarette outside the church, and immediately snuffed out his and walked inside. That's just, and he's been in some stuff, nothing really significant. Like he was in The Patriot, he was in Mockingjay, he was in Cold Mountain, Mississippi Burning are his four most notables.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting.
He was in The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
But
this is interesting.
Yeah, just an interesting character to just kind of throw in there, like, oh, hey, that's an interesting face. Oh, but we're never going to see him again. Okay. So he should have been a best new face, but he's not.
This is true. That guy that was in... Who's that guy? Where is it? Oh, I don't see him. Oh, yeah. So Kevin, he was the guy that ran away with the wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph Cranford.
Yeah.
His notables, Man of Steel, and Batman versus Superman. He played the same, like Pete Ross.
As the same character.
So it was a recurring role. And the Judas Run, which is 27 minutes short. And then he played in Chicago Fire for 2 episodes. And then Dark Tales. And then he never acted again. So 2017 was his last thing.
There's a picture of him.
He somehow locked down Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel.
Yeah, so one of the 4 pictures of him on his IMDb page is him at a funeral in Batman v Superman talking with Diane Lane.
Oh yeah. Okay, he probably like, I knew Kevin Costner. That's the connection. Kevin Costner's Clark Kent or whatever the dad. Jonathan Kent. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my word, that's funny. That's how that was it. He thought he was going to Jimmy's funeral, but it turns out it was just Kevin Costner.
Yeah, like, I remember when he faked being Kevin Costner. Oh crap! This is the real Kevin Costner.
Wait, this is actually Kevin Costner. It's not. Oh, it's not Jimmy. Okay.
I've never seen any of his 17 sports movies. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Wrong Kevin Costner.
sorry, I was howling in the middle of the.
Yeah, you gotta say it from your gut. Yeah.
That now seemed insensitive.
Mm-hmm. I love this segment on this show specifically because we just go in like these weird tangents between like side characters, and we're like, oh yeah, that guy. I love it. Kevin Campbell or Joseph. Wow, Joseph Cranford. That was way off.
You got nothing right on that.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay.
What was our next one?
Minor character of the episode. I'm going with Ernesto.
Yeah, Ernie. Ernesto. Yeah.
Yeah. He's one that just has. Yeah. Yeah. He just sitting there listening to what's going on. It's trying to keep up. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's good. And obviously, that's the guy that was super happy for Jimmy when he got his degree from Samoa.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the mailroom. It's good that he pops back up. I think that's also good continuity. Good continuity. Yeah. Anyway.
Can you just say good continuity?
We're not gonna. Why do you have to point it out? Okay, I got tongue-tied. I messed up my speech.
We already talked about him pretending he's Kevin Costner. We don't need to go back to that scene.
Yeah, no more nudity. Yeah, I got you.
No. It's not like it's Friends where Joey plays Pacino's butt double. That was not good continuity because you could tell it was a different body being nude there. It has to be you have to do your own stunts to have good continuity.
Well, I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm glad I haven't missed a beat messing up on the words.
Mm-hmm,
You gotta have one one gag like that. Yeah, exactly.
I will always keep you
Keep me in
honest on
check.
those.
Exactly.
All right. Best Saul one-liner.
Okay,
Let's go through the list
okay,
here.
one
What do you got?
one. I got New Mexico, like Bugs Bunny and the Roadrunner, like New Mexico.
64, as in, oh, to be 64 again.
Yeah, it's a great one. The Dalai Lama's got nothing on me. That's a good one.
N, as in Nancy Reagan.
Nancy Reagan. Look outside. It's like an easy bake oven. It's soulless, radioactive Georgia O'Keefe hellscape or whatever.
The Hills Have Eyes was a documentary.
Yeah, that's a good one. A guy wanted some soft serves. I gave him a soft serve. That's my favorite one, though. That's a good line.
A good one from Marco was 10 years in the desert. You should look like Anthony Quinn in Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
I'm Irish. I try to stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What are some other good ones? Oh, he tries to pull off the Nigerian prince thing.
Oh yeah. There was some good like stuff in that like the crosscut. That's kind of an underrated scene there. When he's like doing all the scams, that's pretty good.
Let's see here. There was some other good stuff here. I'm trying to find it. Did you have any others?
No, but nothing that I wrote down. But there was a lot of good ones here, especially during that bingo scene. Yeah, the bingo scene had a lot of good ones.
I like when Kim calls him Ferris Bueller.
No, he doesn't get called Ferris Bueller. He picks up the phone. I thought he said he picks up the phone. Oh no, you're right.
He picks up the phone. Kim's on the phone. Is like, "Is this Ferris Bueller?"
Yeah, are you ready?
Because he's pulling his week of hooky in Chicago.
Did you hear about that theory about Ferris Bueller? It's actually Groundhog Day. Like he's stuck in the same time loop. That's why everything works out in his favor. It's a very interesting theory.
Yeah, that is an interesting theory.
That's a different side. That's a different sideshow. But anyway.
Yes, it is. What are some other things from the bingo? Let's see here. B2, as in the B2 bomber. B is in betrayal. B is in brother. B is in battleship. Bourbon. Belize.
Belize.
Which I'll never see.
which we'll never see. Well, I won't see. Yeah.
Who leaves 2 Boy Scouts in a double parked car?
Yeah, I would have loved to see them the guy that he tossed the ball to say the number and somebody says bingo. That would have been like the best part of the scene.
That would have been
bingo. Oh, and he just walks out. Yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been great. Yeah. All right.
Like kitty notebooks for everybody.
The poor aide is just so confused. All right, I think we had the best Breaking Bad reference, and that's the Kevin Costner moment.
Costner, yeah.
All right, I actually came up with something outdated here that needs to be brought up. Slip and Jimmy doesn't work today in an era of smartphones. Like, think about that whole thing with the Kennedy $50. Like, how easily is that debunked as soon as you have a smartphone that can look the whole thing up?
Yeah, because this takes place in the early 2000s. Like the guy has a BlackBerry, right? That guy should have a BlackBerry.
I don't know. Were there really smartphones yet?
Okay,
this was right around when I got my first cell phone, and it barely texted.
That is true. BlackBerry. Let's see. What's BlackBerry? Date first BlackBerry. Yeah, first BlackBerry. Okay. Well, 2002 was the launch of the BlackBerry 5810. First BlackBerry device was the BlackBerry 850, a two-way pager with email capabilities, released in January 1999. While not a phone, it laid for the groundwork for BlackBerry's future smartphone manufacturer, the BlackBerry phone. The BlackBerry 5810 was launched in 2002, which would probably...
the 5810 looked like a Palm Pilot.
Yeah, the 58
with a full keyboard, not a phone.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
Remember Palm Pilots?
Oh,
that was a thing.
That was a thing. Yeah. This is
Anyways,
also another
I
fun
just had to bring
segment.
that up. I was like, man, in an era of smartphones, his playbook gets a lot shorter.
This is true. Yeah.
All right. Midlife crisis
Nigerian
moment.
Princes is also something that you couldn't do today either. Because it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
really,
yeah.
it's
We were
clearly a
watching it. And my
scam.
wife was like, "Wait, he's trying to pull off the email scam before the email scam."
That's great.
I've
He was
gotten those
probably the one who
emails
invented it.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably the one who invented it.
I think I
Delma would
invented
have.
it.
Delma would probably fall for it. Yeah.
Probably. All right, midlife crisis moment.
So this is like what we relate to, right?
Yes.
Just so I'm clear. So we're clear. Okay. So
Doesn't have to be blue or the bomb.
Yeah. So seeing an old friend and acting like nothing, and you haven't seen each other for a long time, but acting like nothing's changed. Just like it's. So shout out to my buddy Daryl. Like I haven't seen the guy in a couple like 6 years or whatever, and he we hung out like a couple months ago. And it's like just like we hadn't missed a beat. It's like, yep, just talking like baseball, drinking some whiskeys, and just hanging out. Like that was good to rekindle that. But it's like it felt just like nothing had like we hadn't seen each other for like 6 years, and it's like didn't skip a beat.
Well, and not only do you not skip a beat and act like you just saw each other yesterday, but you revert back to like the behaviors that you had the last time that you'd seen them, right?
That's not a bad. Yeah, that's not a bad shot. Yeah, because we did talk a lot about baseball and drinking. Yeah, that's
because Marco was like living his own life, and all of a sudden Jimmy's back. It's like Jimmy's back. We're pulling cons.
Yeah. I got one last launch. Like, come on.
Yeah, let's do it. That's a great one. I went a similar route, but changed it up a little bit. You always see the good old days through rose-colored glasses. Like you always look back and like, oh, remember the times we had back in the day? Oh man, that was amazing times when they might have actually sucked, but you don't think about that. You think about, oh man, wouldn't it be great to go back to when this was going on? You forget about all the stuff that sucked about when that was going on. You just remember, oh man, we had some good times.
But it's also good to like reminisce on like the times that you've overcome too. Like I remember like telling like my kids now, like, man, back when I was like, I moved out and I was dealing with stuff. Like I remember what my dinners were. Like I was like looking for change just to be able to like, hopefully I find $1 to go down and get a pizza at the 7-Eleven. Like it was tough at first, like especially because I wasn't good at managing my money. And then it made me realize I need to do better at this. So thinking back and like seeing like the difference like from now and then, it's like it's kind of cool to think like, oh, that's where I came from. But it's all day for sure.
That's a cool way to look at it too. I was thinking more like a few months ago I ran into some people I went to college with.
Concordia.
And and you just sit around and start telling those old stories of like, remember this one time when that one guy did this? Like that was insane. And and all you remember are those great war stories of like what it was like to be in that time. And like we have this shared experience, and we're gonna go back and just remember the good old days and tell all those stories.
This is true. We had our stuff like this last couple of weeks, or we were both out of state. So I was out for work in California and Oakland, and so I met up with a friend that I met at my like fantasy camp stuff, and that's all we talked about the entire time was we talked about our families a little bit, but it's like, remember back in camp? Like, remember when we played that when we played baseball? We tried to play baseball, and we just like talked about the whole time. We should do that again. That'd be fun.
It's like that old Chris Farley SNL sketch. Remember that one time when this happened?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, you were raking, bro, and I was dealing. It was great.
That's great. That's amazing.
It's funny.
All right, LVP of the episode.
Well, we kind of touched on it. Living in that state of euphoria of like the good old days. Yeah, that's it. That's just living in that state of like, this is the good old days. Like that's what like you live in, and that's what kind of Marco was. And Jimmy's like, I just wanted to like dabble in it. Like I didn't want to like go back to it. I just wanted to like kind of just do a little taste, a tasting. but then Marco's like, no, he's full into it. Like this is the only thing I have. Like I have this life. Now that you're here, you fulfill me. Like that type of thing. So living in that state is the LVP.
And watching Jimmy try to navigate through of being where he is now versus where he was, and yeah, I've got a couple things written down for LVP. First off, the B in bingo, like really, like
What's
5 or
the
6 in a
odds?
row. Yeah. And then the efforts to de-age Odenkirk. I mean, they're not even trying anymore. They just give him a wig and say, go out there and act like you're 20.
Yo, I'm Skylar White, yo. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. Odenkirk can pull it off a little better than Skylar White, yo.
Yeah.
MVP.
I'm Bob Odenkirk, yo. That guy's just awesome. Like he is clearly MVP. If he's not the MVP of this first season, I don't know what we're doing. Just really like awesome character, just like developing this character, knowing this character so well, and fooling those chicks to being Kevin Costner. You look nothing like Kevin Costner's way taller than you, bud.
Talk about rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you built it and she came, yeah. Anyway, what's your MVP?
My MVP is Marco's ring.
Yeah,
I think so. Just the whole idea that he's wearing the ring, it's what makes him think, life's too short. Why am I trying to please people when I could be doing what I'm best at? And I thought that was kind of cool. Plus, after we watched the episode, my wife was like, I want to go back and watch Breaking Bad now and see if he's wearing the ring.
I never thought about that until just now.
Yeah.
MVP
does he have on Marco's ring?
Job. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, the fact that he puts it on, you got to think it shows up somewhere, unless something happens in the next couple seasons of Better Call Saul. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting.
Not much of a ring guy.
Side thing. Yeah.
Did he have a wife? He said he had a wife at that bingo scene too, like an ex-wife, but a wife nonetheless.
Who? Jimmy?
Yeah.
Huh.
He said, like, I have a wife, or I had a wife, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I misheard that, but I don't know. Wait, I may have to go back. I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to go back. All right. Well, this is the last episode of the first season of Better Call Saul, so we like to do some season awards. So let's roll through these pretty quick of all the awards we normally give for the episode, but the best of the season. What was your scene of the season? Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first. Yeah.
As I was thinking about it, the scene that stood out to me the most from the season was Mike earning his security detail job. Just the whole thing of he packed himself a lunch. He's not packing a gun, and then he disarms the one guy, and the other guy runs away. Like that I love that scene.
Yeah.
Pimento cheese.
Yeah, my favorite scene is the whole con with the billboard, and like the billboard scene where the guy falls and he goes up and saves him, and he's like a national treasure. Yeah, that's a great scene.
What was I watching? I was watching something where it was like a show or something. I don't even remember what it was, but someone was like dangling from a crane and he was being saved. I think I was at my parents' house and they were watching like old episodes of Emergency, like the old 70s show.
Mm-hmm.
And there were firefighters that had gone up to a crane that were rescuing a guy who was stuck up there. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Better Call Saul. I mean, just send Jimmy up there to rescue his planted guy who fell and dangling from the billboard. That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay. The Betsy Kettleman douchebag award of the season. Other than Betsy Kettleman, because we named the award after her because she's the worst. Yeah. Do you have anybody else that you want to shout out?
Go first again.
Okay. I mean, the other one I had written down was Chuck, because over the last episode or so, from the end of episode 9 to all the way through this, my word, he turned into quite the douchebag. He's kind of become the worst. So you've got him. I'm looking through some of my other stuff that I'd written down. Oh, Hoffman and Fensky obviously have to be considered for greatest douchebag alongside Betsy Kettleman.
Yeah.
And how can we forget Richard, call me Ricky Sipes?
Ricky, call me
Richard, the rancher who's trying to start his own country.
Yeah, his own country. That's a good one. Cal and Lars Lindholm, the skateboarder scammers. Those are
yes.
good ones.
Oh, the skateboarders.
Petty with a prior guy. Yeah, that's a good one.
The 3 defendants at the begin and like in the very first scene of the entire show when he's trying to defend like the 3 like preppy kids.
Yeah. Those,
I don't even remember what the context was behind what they were.
But they broke in and had relations with like a dead body.
Oh, that's right. They were messing with the cadaver.
The cadaver, yeah. They showed the video. So awkward.
Wheeled over the TV cart, yeah.
Oh,
they cut off the cadaver's head.
That's a good one. That's the one.
That's a good one too. Them, but Hoffman and Fensky you could also say too.
Yeah, good call.
The stickman of the season. I mean,
Kevin Costner?
It's Kevin Costner, right? I mean, I'm looking through here who else I wrote down for different ones.
Tony the Toilet Buddy?
At one point. What?
Tony the Toilet Buddy?
Tony the
the talking toilet?
Tony the Toilet Buddy. That's got to be it. I had the Matlock suit written down. Stickman has been hard to come by in this, for sure.
Nacho Varga was one.
Mm-hmm. All right, best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo.
Well, I also had for.
Oh, go ahead, Stickman.
The Stickman. Where was it? Let's see here. Slip and Jimmy had a couple. The Coca-Cola, a tropical hardwood of Central American trees. That's another one I had. That's the Stickman. Stupid. I don't remember the reference, but that's what Jimmy said one time. Yeah, but Tony the Toilet Buddy. That's a good Stickman.
That's a good one. All right, best new face. Best new face.
Well, we have 2 Pinot nominees in there.
It's true. Kerry Condon and Keith Kupfer.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a guy from The Office.
I would probably, the guy from The Office for sure. I would probably say my favorite is Tweener playing Hoffman and Fensky from Prison Break. Like seeing him, like that was the like mind blow of the season for me.
Yeah, I did like shout out to Dr. Laura Cruz, Clee Duvall from The Faculty. I love that movie. So I have to shout that movie out every time I can. But I didn't like that scene from episode 5 when Chuck went to the hospital, but she was the doctor there. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess there's several different. There's Tuco's abuelita was also in the Scarface, so she was there in Scarface.
Oh, right. Yeah,
there's that connection. Also, you have several people from GTA, but Dr. Caldara, Joe DeRosa, the vet that Mike goes to. That's probably my minor. Or hey, that's John Hamm award, Danny Trejo.
That's a good
for his GTA and killed Tony. So
minor character of the season.
Ooh, minor character of the season now.
For me, it's got to be Nacho. He is so intriguing in his relationship to the Salamanca family. Why don't we know who he is in Breaking Bad? What happened? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much intrigue around Nacho and his character. He's the one guy who can tell Tuco what to do. What? I need to know more, and I have a feeling we will. But he has sparked our curiosity more than anybody else in these 10 episodes.
Yeah, this is true. He's credited for like every episode, but he's only been in like less than 5.
Right.
It's crazy. So I think he's gonna be a big player. I would go with Miss Strauss, Carol Herman, because she does her own stunts. She was one of her the first elder log cases where she comes down the the elevator. That's a good one. But I also put down Ernie or Ernesto down on 2 episodes. So I guess I would have to shout out him because he was one of my minor characters for Rico, episode 8. So yeah, probably John Christian Love for Ernesto for this episode and episode 8.
It's a good one. All right, best Saul one-liner of
this is
the
tough.
season. Yeah, this has some steep competition here.
I do like the line where it says he wanted soft serve, so I gave him soft serve. That's a pretty good one up there for me.
Yeah,
I'm looking back now.
I think my favorite might be Blow My Magic Flute.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I hope you make a fortune because Chandler's going to need a lot of therapy.
Yeah,
that was pretty good one.
I got a bad case of face blindness.
Hail Satan, I submit to the dark side. That's a pretty good one.
Straight from Satan's butthole.
Yeah.
I'll take an edible arrangement heavy on the pineapple. That's a good one from episode 3. Stop talking about it, make me beautiful. Stop talking about it, make me beautiful again. When they're like the people at the nail salon are making like,
oh yeah,
your minutes of experience. Sorry, talk about the camera guys. Your minutes of experience.
Only way that car is worth $500 is if there's a $300 hooker in the back.
Only half of us are idiots. The other half are crooks. That's a good line.
A lot of them came from this last episode, honestly.
Viagra was created to cure hypertension. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Probably my slip of the tongue is that knowing the facts of Viagra.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's thinking that you needed to use it as your relatable moment.
Yeah, that's my bad. The little Juan Valdez bump and dump. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I'll go with the Blow My Magic Flute. I think that's my favorite. The best Breaking Bad reference of the season.
All right. So yeah, it's obviously Kevin Costner could be there too. Let me see here. Go ahead.
Mine's Tuco. Just the fact that we end the first episode with Tuco.
Yep.
And he's back and we get to see his brilliant face once again.
So my best Breaking Bad moment. So episode 4 of Hero, the yellow shirt and tie in the shoe shop.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Ring. Yeah. And then that's a good one. And then we get a little bit more on the bank job stuff with Mike back in Philly. Gonzo and Nodo's, Tuco's up there.
Pushing Kaylee on the swing. I like that one too.
A possible Wendy sighting with all those like faces. Yeah, I'm still saying she's probably maybe up there. The large man and Pimento was Clarence, the bouncer from El Camino. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then and then Daniel, aka Price, could be the guy who manages Laserbase and also in Pimento.
Oh, because what's his name again?
Yeah, Daniel.
You need a Danny. Yeah, you need a Danny. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I always liked that one.
That's a good one.
The midlife crisis moment of the season. Mine, I think, was my one in episode 2, but I think it kind of translates across the whole season, and it's what Jimmy's dealing with the entire time. You hate yourself sometimes for having a conscience. Like, wouldn't life just be easier if I didn't care what the right thing to do was? Life would just be so much easier. Yeah. But I actually have a conscience. Dang it.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. I like episode 4 again, always up for a Kurt Russell action film. The Thing, top 100 movie of all time for me. So I would always be down to watch that. I would love to watch that in the theater. Also, let's see here. Trying to remember. Oh yeah, episode 7, Bingo. Got to turn the charm on even when life sucks. Like you have to turn the charm on even though you're going through something bad. That's all the time. Reading glasses from Rico. Like, oh wow, these reading glasses, readers, yeah. When she's like reading the old people's like using the glasses. When he's trying to read the small print of the contracts at the old person's home.
Yeah.
I could sleep for a decade. I thought that's also a good line that Saul said, and very relatable. And yeah, it's a good one.
All right, LVP of the season.
Ooh, Betty Kettleman could be up there.
Yeah, could be.
Let's see here.
It's Betsy, by the way.
What did I say, Betty? Oh, Betsy. See, I don't even care about her name. It's like, yeah, it's like finicky to me.
That explains it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. No, Chuck LVP. Chuck
LVP. That's a good one. I'm looking through the ones that I've given, and I think my favorite LVP is the artist that designed Jimmy's face to go on the bingo cards and on the Jello cups, because it looks not like the whole idea is brilliant, but it looks nothing like him. So that's what I'm gonna go with. The artist that designed Jimmy's face to go into on all the product placement in the old folks' homes.
That's good. I like that one.
MVP of the season.
MVP for me is We're Back. Talking Saul. I like Talking Saul. I think that's what we're gonna go with. We're Talking Saul. Yeah, Talking Saul. But no,
my wife said Calling Saul.
Yeah.
Like she came home last night and like, are we calling Saul tonight?
No,
yep, we're calling Saul tonight.
We're dialing him up.
Better Call Saul.
Yep. That's good. I've got my MVP. I've got Mike. And a little bit of a tangent from Mike. The Kettleman apple tree. Mike's particular set of skills. That's another great scene of the season. Is watching Mike find their money and take it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's such a good scene. Such a good scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Elder Law as my MVP. Elder Law.
Elder Law.
I would love to see a Saul commercial that just says, "Who can call for Elder Law? Saul Goodman." Yeah,
I like it. Rico Law.
Yeah,
that was a great bit. That was
one of our better openings. Yeah,
it was one of our better openings. Okay, well, season 1's done. Do you want to take a failed attempt at seeing where season 2 is going to go?
No. I'm happy with just letting it marinate, letting it sit. New season. I would love to see more Kim and Saul working together, or Jimmy working together. Maybe Kim doing her own thing. Maybe.
I don't know if they're going to work as much together if Jimmy's going to start leaning more into his mischievous tendencies. I think this is where Nacho pops back up, because now Jimmy's going to start to try and become the criminal lawyer, and he knows a criminal. I mean, maybe eventually, but I think we're going to get more Nacho and Tuco moving forward, and how he's going to start working with them, and maybe they're like his into that whole world. He's going to need Mike a lot more to bend the rules, and that's where that relationship continues to build. What?
When's Huel popping up? Reasonably soon.
I was gonna make that same joke. I was like, I'm sure it'll be popping up reasonably. I gotta do it.
Got stomach issues. And they get
Still sitting on the couch somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one thing I think might happen is he's going to start his more criminal activity, and it's going to pop up with Nacho and Tuco.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But I have no clue.
Yeah, Nacho, that actor is such a good actor too. Again, I completely forgot and missed when I first saw him that he was in Far Cry 3, one of like the greatest like video game villains of all time. I think for me, he's just awesome in that. Michael Mando, yeah. He's good. I cannot wait to see what he does in the next season. So hopefully he does a lot more. Be a big prominent player. Let's see.
Well, I mean, he's billed in every episode. He's got to pop up.
Every episode, he's got to pop up. It's just a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. All right. Well, that wraps up season 1.
Yep, season 1 is in the books, and there will be no time off going forward. We are jumping right into season 2 next week of Talking Saul right here on the Almost Sideways Movie podcast and YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, and smash that subscribe button wherever you guys are listening. We would love to have you jump in the comment section if you're on YouTube and join the conversation of all things Talking Saul. So again, my name is Adam. I actually surprisingly said that with several vodkas in. So
that was the most articulate thing you've said all day.
Well, that's like embedded in my brain. It's kind of like it's the one thing I know.
Just
anyway,
smash that subscribe button.
Get incestuous.
Yeah, might.
Better Call Saul.
Exactly.
Yep, it is. Better
roasting
Call Saul.
like a toasted cheeser in here, Benny.
Yep.
All right.
Damn you, Chet.
Sit and spin, you buttholes.
Well, R.I.P. man. Sorry, Marco.
R.I.P.
You'll be missed, maybe.
You'll be missed. R.I.P. You butthole.
Yeah. Gone.